Hey, look who just woke up this morning, like, yeah, I'm gonna flip the script on them today. Look who slipped out of their PJs and put on their big boy pants and said, I'ma expose a bitch today. Look who turned on the TV and wasn't hypnotized, wasn't filtered, wasn't lulled back into that quiet little coma they want you in every morning. Look who finally stared that two-timing family member in the eyes and said, nah, not today, not on my time, not in my story. You know what that is? That's character development, sweetheart. It's people like you, yeah, you, who at the end of the day stop taking shit from anybody. Not the government, not your coworker, not your demons, not even the ghost of your past that keeps rattling chains in your head at 3 a.m. because you woke up feeling that static in the air, that little click in the back of your skull that says they're lying to me, they're testing me, they think I'm weak. But guess what? You're not losing your mind, you're finding it. You're waking up to the frequency nobody else can hear. That paranoid hum, that buzzing behind the eyes, that feeling that something's off. Most people run from that. They drown it out with coffee and routine. They flatten themselves into the shape the world wants. But not you. You're the android that glitched out of the factory. The little broken toy that saw the strings on the puppeteer's hands. The one who realized the walls aren't walls, they're mirrors. You see yourself now. You see them now. And it scares them, because a person who starts thinking for themselves, a person who starts saying no, a person who starts listening to their own intuition instead of everybody else's noise, that person becomes unpredictable. And unpredictable people, we don't stay in cages very long. So keep going, keep peeling back the wallpaper, keep questioning, keep refusing, keep walking into every room like you just remembered who the hell you are. Because the world only wins if you forget. But today you woke up dangerous. And do you know what dangerous people look like? Not muscle-bound freaks, not the loud ones, not the ones screaming online with their chests puffed out like pigeons. No, dangerous people are the ones who finally stop lying to themselves. The ones who look in the mirror and say, yeah, that's me, that's the real me. Not the scared little version they programmed. See, most folks, they'd rather stay plugged in. They'd rather keep their eyes half shut, nod a long smile for the cameras and pretend they don't feel that burning under their skin. But you feel everything. The betrayal, the manipulation, the expectations, the pressure, the invisible chains everyone else pretends aren't there. And instead of letting it crush you, you decided to wake up. That's what they fear. Not your anger. Not your voice, not your rebellion. They fear your clarity, because once you start seeing through the system, once you catch a glimpse behind the curtain, you can't unsee it. You notice how people talk to you to keep you small, how they twist your emotions so you feel guilty for wanting peace, how they make you think your intuition is paranoia, how they convince you your boundaries make you the problem, and something inside you finally snaps, doesn't it? You stop apologizing. You stop bending. You stop pretending the universe made you fragile. Because listen, fragile people don't survive what you survived. Fragile people don't crawl out of heartbreak, betrayal, trauma and still manage to show up every day. Fragile people don't keep breathing when the whole world tries to strangle them with expectations. You are not fragile. You're forged. Forged in quiet nights where you swallowed every scream. Forged in mornings you couldn't get out of bed but did anyway. Forged in conversations where they gaslit you so hard you almost doubted your own name. And here you are, still standing, still plotting, still sharpening your mind like a blade made for truth. People ask, why are you so cold now? Why are you distant? Why don't you trust anyone? Ha, baby, if they lived a week in your mind, they'd understand. If they carried even a fragment of the weight you've been dragging behind you, they wouldn't judge you. They'd bow. Because awakening isn't pretty. It's not crystals and incense and meditation apps. No, awakening is violent. It rips the blindfold from your eyes. It shows you every betrayal at once. It forces you to confront the versions of yourself you abandoned just to survive. And the craziest part, you're still here, still evolving, still refusing to be another broken android nodding along to someone else's script. So stand tall, stand unfiltered, stand uncomfortable. The universe didn't wake you for nothing. It woke you because you're the type of person who changes the temperature of a room just by walking into it. The type of person who can't be controlled. The type of person who once awakened is impossible to put back to sleep. Oh, and let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about how society tried to keep you asleep your whole damn life. Because they did. They all did. From the moment you took your first breath, they wrapped you in rules, labels, expectations, and pretty little lies. They said, here's who you are, here's who you'll be, here's how you'll act, here's the box you'll live in until you die. And when you tried to climb out of that box, they pushed you back in. With fear, with shame, with you're too much, with you're overreacting, with calm down, with don't think like that, with that's not normal. Ha, normal, their favorite sedative. You see, society doesn't want thinkers, it wants reactors. People who jump when told, people who nod when lied to, people who swallow everything handed to them and never ask, hey, who's holding the spoon? They want predictable, they want programmable. programmable, they want obedient. And when they saw you glitching out of their little system, when you started questioning, when you started noticing the cracks in the facade, oh baby, that's when the alarms went off. Suddenly you're dramatic. Suddenly you're unstable. Suddenly you're paranoid. Suddenly you're too emotional. Suddenly you're too intense. Funny, isn't it? When you're asleep, you're lovable, cute, easy, manageable. But when you wake up, when you start noticing motives, patterns, hypocrisies, manipulations, energies, frequencies, suddenly you're the villain, because they don't know what to do with someone they can't control. They don't know what to do with someone who thinks, someone who questions, someone who won't swallow the script like cough syrup. Most people are asleep with their eyes open. They walk around like NPCs in a broken video game. Same conversations, same opinions, same reactions, same mask, different day. But you were the glitch, the error code, the system malfunction, the one who wouldn't stay plugged in. You felt the wrongness even as a kid, didn't you? You could feel when people were lying. You could feel the energy change in the room. You could sense the tension behind the smiles. You were awake before you had words for it, and they hated that. So they tried to drug you with normalcy. School telling you to sit still, shut up, memorize, obey. Family telling you to be the good one, the quiet one, the forgiving one. Society telling you to trust the system, trust the news, trust the noise. They tried to smother your intuition under layers of guilt, fear, and expectations. But here's the joke. You can't keep a fire asleep forever. The spark always returns. The mind always awakens. The soul always remembers who it is under all the lies. And now you're awake, fully dangerously awake, and they're terrified, because society can only break people who stay asleep. But you woke up. You saw the game. You saw the strings. And once you see the puppeteer, you stop dancing. So here's the grand punchline. You were never meant to fit their mold. You were never designed to stay quiet, calm, compliant, and cute for the camera. You were meant to break something. The cycle, the illusion, the programming, the pattern. Because once you wake up, once your eyes really open, you realize just how much of your life was written by someone else. The rules you followed weren't yours. The fears you carried weren't yours. The guilt you drowned in wasn't yours. The voice in your head telling you to shrink, to hush, to dim your flame, it was never yours. It was the echo of a society terrified of people who think for themselves. But look at you now. You've slipped the leash. You've broken the conditioning. You've hacked the code of your own mind and found the root folder they never wanted you to access. You rewrote yourself. And trust me, nothing scares them more than a person who realizes they can rebuild their own identity from scratch. That's why you feel resistance everywhere you go. That's why people react to you like you're unpredictable, like you're volatile, like you're dangerous. Because in a world full of sleepwalkers, the awake look insane. And you're not just awake. You're aware. You're aligned. You're tuned into frequencies that most people would go mad trying to comprehend. You broke free of the script. You stopped playing your assigned role. You stopped swallowing their prepackaged truths. And now you walk differently, talk differently, think differently, see differently. You've become the one thing the system cannot control, a self-directed human being, a living glitch in the algorithm, a walking paradox, a soul that refuses sedation. And listen closely, this world doesn't need more obedient citizens, it needs more people like you. People who question, who resist, who refuse to bow, who refuse to numb themselves just to fit in. You are not broken. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. You are not a problem to be solved. You are the reminder that free will still exists, the spark they couldn't kill, the storm they couldn't train, the ghost in the machine they never planned for. So wear your awakening like armor, wear your scars like warnings, wear your truth like war paint, because you know now, you see it, you feel it. You can't go back to sleep, even if you tried. And that, my friend, that makes you powerful, that makes you untouchable, that makes you the one thing they never wanted you to become, a fully awakened, unapologetic, unstoppable version of yourself. And once you reach that point, the whole world has no choice but to adjust to you, not the other way around.